Out here, we do some kind of maintenance, repairs, or installation nearly every day. Any work that's done can affect the safety of everybody on site. And that site can be a process site, processing unit, or remote job location. So when you come to work, we want to perform as a team. We all want to get our jobs done right, and that means being safe. We want everyone to return home each night or at the end of your shift. In this module, we're going to talk about the right way to get area or unit work clearances for a site. For simplicity, we'll refer to these as work clearances. Now, obtaining work clearances involves common sense as well as some specific things you'll need to know. To begin, many locations require that you sign in and get a briefing on local conditions and requirements. For example, if you board an offshore platform in U.S. waters, the Coast Guard requires that all visitors sign in and out and get a briefing on the safety equipment and procedures for that platform. Now, to make sure that work is done safely, everything that goes on at a site must be coordinated. All those involved with a project need to have a thorough understanding of the work. A big part of coordinating a project safely is using work clearances. Work clearances allow the person in charge to get the job done smoothly while helping prevent unsafe conditions from occurring. There are many situations where you could be on site doing your work safely. However, if you don't know what another crew is doing nearby, a dangerous condition could occur. You should always get a work clearance before performing work in any production area, such as a refinery, processing plant, oil and gas production field, or offshore platform. This communication and coordination at a site helps ensure everyone's safety. At some locations, work clearances always involve paperwork. In other locations, and depending on the work to be done, you may only need to communicate verbally. You might find meeting these differing requirements time-consuming and frustrating, but remember, we may need different work clearance methods to help ensure a safe work environment which protects your health. In addition, at some locations, government regulations specify that certain work clearance methods must be used. A job will always go more smoothly if you take the time to plan. To get the right work clearances, you need to pre-plan for the specific area where you'll be working. Also, check for required safety equipment and any other specific permit requirements. Studying the safety manual handbook or a phone call to the person in charge of the area where you'll be working will help you find out about any permitting requirements and who needs to approve the permits. Written work clearance permits are always required when you work in a refinery or gas plant. Some companies require unit work clearance permits for work at any of their facilities. You must always have a specific, formal written permit to work in a confined space or vessel. You must also have a formal written permit for any work, like using open flames, that could cause sparks or creates an ignition source in a classified area, for example, around tanks or pipelines. There's specific information about classified areas in the module Hot Work in Classified Areas and in the company's safety handbook or manual. Unit work permits do not take the place of these specific permits. Once you've been given an area work clearance, you must check in with the person in charge at the site. Contact the person in charge to make sure they know you're about to begin work. Once you've notified the person in charge, it's time to communicate with others. All the appropriate people need to be informed about the work to be done, work that is going on now, any kind of hazards that may exist, and anything else that might affect your work. Remember, you should never perform any work without proper communication, notification, and clearance. No one should begin any work or operate any equipment without the knowledge of the person in charge. You must also have a properly completed and signed permit whenever such a document is required. If you're in charge of an area, it's your responsibility to see that no one starts work until they've received clearance from and communicated with you. Let's say you've gotten all the work clearances and are ready to start work. If there's going to be any significant delay before you start, communicate that fact to everyone involved and then notify the appropriate person when you're about to begin work. You can notify in person, by phone, or by radio, depending on your location. Once you've started working, don't do anything but the work that has been approved or permitted. If you were to do something unexpected, like opening a valve that's not part of your planned work or using a sparking device, you could put everyone in danger. If there's something not in your original plan that needs to be done, or if conditions change, notify the person in charge and be sure the task won't affect anyone's safety or cause a process change. When you complete your work, it's also important to notify the person in charge. When written work clearance permits are used, a job isn't complete until the permit has been closed out and returned. And it's good practice to let the person in charge know that you're done, regardless of whether it's required by procedure. You can phone, radio, or drop by, but however you do it, let them know you're finished. It's important that we all use proper work clearance procedures. It's a requirement for working at our sites. Planning, communicating, and teamwork help get the job done right, and that means safely. That's always our goal. Thanks for participating in this module. Take care, and I'll see you next time.